Good morning, Tone.
Morning.
We got ourselves a starting quarterback.
We do.
Hell yeah.
Was there really ever any doubt?
Apparently, there was a little bit of doubt. They wanted to...
It's funny. The one thing we had kind of debated was who the organization wanted. We know that Kenny Pickett was here first. Joe Flacco was here second. But me and you jumped to the Joe Flacco train of thought pretty quickly. There were a few that scolded us and said we made up our mind too early. And unfortunately for Kenny Pickett, he just never had his chance because of his health.
We made up our mind too early. We got scolded.
Yeah, like
why?
Well, we were the minute the hamstring thing came down, we said it was over. And there were people, there were other shows, there were others that said that we were jumping the gun on that. Maybe we were. I don't know. But we end up being right about it. I'm not.
I think those shows just maybe wanted something else to talk or wanted to keep talking about the situation, but it was a done deal.
I just never
when
really
when
felt...
the hamstring went down and we knew it was like, hey, this is when they day to day. It's like this is going to be a lingering thing. It's like, nah, there's no doubt they're going to start Joe Flacco. Of course, they're going to start Joe. What are you doing? What are you talking about?
Now, maybe was that our preconceived notions on Kenny Pickett in general? Were we never really giving him a shot to begin with? Because obviously the team was going to give him a shot. He was the first quarterback of all four of these guys. He was the first one here.
Yeah, I think they were going to give him. I think they did. I mean, to meet some of the people out there halfway, I think they did want him to go out and win the job. And I think he was doing what was necessary to make the effort to win the job, but the body wouldn't allow it. And you could say it's an unfortunate circumstance. And now I look at him as kind of the fly in the ointment of, hey, you're the fourth quarterback. I don't know necessarily what to do with you because Joe Flacco has a place. Joe Flacco is a veteran that the veterans trust. You have two rookies. I'm champing at the bit to try to start talking about Dillon Gabriel's performance because the reactions are all over the map about Dillon Gabriel's performance on Friday. I think by and large, most people thought Shedeur Sanders played really well. The haters did not like him. Well, they found a multitude of silly reasons for it, but it was from one show to another. It was this big pendulum swinging one side to the other, and I was like, yeah, I thought he was pretty good. But either way, I want to put him there. That coming up more later on. He is a rookie. He's a third-round pick. Shedeur is a rookie. He's a fifth-round pick. Shedeur showed he had a lot of talent. You don't want to move on from Shedeur. I don't think I want to move on from Shedeur. You wouldn't cut Shedeur, would you?
No. Why would you cut him now?
So you wouldn't cut Shedeur and you wouldn't cut Dillon Gabriel, right?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't, but...
There's a but there. Yeah, caveats.
Well,
here we go.
It's the having four quarterbacks. The whole
that's
process,
what I'm saying. So what is Kenny Pickett's role here?
I don't even think, by the way, this is on the Browns. Before you go after any host or any fan.
You can go after me. I don't care. You know it's on the Browns.
Before you go after anybody for weighing in on somebody that should be cut, it's like, this is ridiculous to have four quarterbacks. This is not, under any circumstances, this was never a great idea. We can all admit, right? This was never a great idea.
If Kenny Pickett got cut by the end of the week, or by next Tuesday, I'm sure somebody would find a spot for him somewhere. All right? I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here. I'm just looking at what's pragmatic.
I don't. Does anybody care?
I don't start to say what you said.
I don't care if he resurfaces. What I'm saying is, I've seen some people get irritated with, like, saying one guy has to. Like, there are people that think Shedeur. Who was it? Pete Prisco was making a case for Shedeur getting cut. Like, anyway, this whole situation. You guys keep
saying that name into my headspace. Like,
the bigger part, it's not about who say it. The whole thing is, the whole situation is insane to have four of these guys at their level. Like, not having a normal pecking order, having two quarterback competitions. The fact that we in Cleveland radio and then by virtue of that, the national media getting on this, all debating over a competition for third string quarterback. Like, the whole thing is just so stupid. Like, we can admit that now, right? Getting further away from it now that we have our starting quarterback picked, and that's it now. I mean, your starting quarterback, like, I think it's going to be tough for some people, especially the Shedeur fans, to come to grips with. Now the focus is making sure Joe is ready for week one. It has nothing to do. We're done agonizing over Shedeur or Dillon Gabriel, or let's put the stats up from that's over. Like that was fun. It was silly, but it was fun. But now it's over. Now it's all about one guy and Joe Flacco.
It became not fun because when people are using him as earnest arguments, I'm going, we can't have a back and forth. I can't have fun with you. There's no discussion.
Yeah.
If you're giving me, but he was 7 of 10, it's like, this isn't real. None of this is real. Do you understand? It's not a real thing. It's a practice. But either way, I just point out, I don't know if people want to get upset with the Kenny Pickett thing or people want to make some sort of silly ass argument about cutting one of the two rookies. I don't know. I guess those people, even the writers, I guess, who make that, they got their head up their ass. I don't know what else to say because you're not going to get rid of it's the Browns, for crying out loud. You got two rookies there. You're not going to cut two rookies. And fine, or not cut one of the two rookies, I should say. I mean, good God, you see the guys they've left on this roster before in the last 6 years who are rookies? Anthony Schwartz has zero business being on a football field unless he was wearing a security uniform. That's it. And he was a third-round pick. Speaking of third-round picks, they're not getting rid of them guys. After Shedeur looked good and after Dillon looks promising. See, here we go. Here he goes again. You're not letting them guys go. So I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Kenny's the odd man out. If you're only going to keep 3, if you keep 4, keep 4. If you don't think that this is going to be a really great football team at all, then go ahead and keep 4.
The problem with talking about getting rid of Kenny Pickett is I guarantee you there are some people in that organization who think Kenny Pickett's the best of all 4. They think he's better than Flacco.
Okay, then keep him.
Well, that's what I mean. And those people might have been the ones that brought him in to begin with. So my guess is they're not, if they don't have to, even though it is complicated things from a coaching perspective.
Well, I'm glad you centered me here. Thank you. Because it's not like he must be cut. If you feel that you can keep 4, keep 4. I'm fine with that. Are you upset with that?
Yeah, it just means you might not be moving the ball forward on this. That's the hard part about having 4 guys and at a certain level. Like, it's not like when you take a quarterback in the first round, that spot, he may be competing. We've seen, Baker Mayfield was competing.
Yeah.
Okay, but we knew it was a matter of time. I don't know that it's a matter of time with any of these guys. Do you? I don't know.
No. No.
Yeah, for this year, the thought is Flacco's going to hand it off to most likely Shedeur, but could be Dillon Gabriel. Okay, whatever. That was our thought. The organization might have a different thought, but either way, they're probably drafting a quarterback next year to add another rookie quarterback.
Well, yeah, because if you do have 4, it's going to muddy it up even more. And we're not going to have any clarity on this because there's going to be arguments. I don't know how good he's going to play. Things start off good with Joe, and then things tend to tail away. I don't know how long the leash is going to be. It's just, I think the more important thing is who becomes the second quarterback, who would go in. Who do you have to see here?
Right, Zach Jackson said yesterday there's no way one of the rookies are ready to be a backup right now.
Okay.
For that stretch. And that stunned me a little bit because, most of the conventional thought in the NFL, especially if you don't think you have a great team, is all right, hand it over to the rookie. Well, the problem is they didn't take a rookie in the first or second round. They took him in the third, and then they took him third and fifth. Yeah. So I think there would be people, if the name wasn't Shedeur Sanders, most people around the NFL would be like, yeah, you're not handing the ball over to a third or fifth rounder in week 3 if things don't go with Flacco.
No, you probably wouldn't. You're right.
But here in Cleveland, we'd be like, we'll just give it to Shedeur.
Yeah. Because I at some point you kind of go, okay, I guess we got to see him. As much as I hate to say, I guess we got to see him, but I still have to go back to the old standpoint. I don't know, guys. It's the Browns. You don't expect them to be very good. They're as desperate as you can get for a football or for a quarterback for the football team. So if they don't think that they're able to go out there and conduct an offense, talking about Dillon or Shedeur, I guess we don't really need to see them. And they will save you the time and trouble and agony, and we will go and we will talk about these college quarterbacks, some of which start on Saturday because the season starts early. It's week 0 coming up. So we'll watch these guys and we'll have these opinions on these guys because I think what was it? I forget. Oh, God, what was the analytics website that had it? They have them projected at the 2nd pick and the 9th pick. Browns and the Jags pick that's now the Browns. They have them at the 2nd and 9th pick, which, boy, if the Jags finish with the 9th pick, you have to have a serious conversation about Trevor Lawrence, but that's a conversation for some other team and some other day. If you can keep 4, go ahead and keep 4. My issue is if you're going to only keep 3, I'm going to keep the pups and I'm going to let Kenny Pickett go. I've had 2 competent organizations essentially give up on Kenny Pickett. I don't know what I have in Dillon Gabriel. I don't know what I have in Shedeur. They're pups. I'm going to see what I got in either one of those guys to see if I have any long-term future. That's what it is. And so if I have to make a cut, I wish Kenny Pickett very well in his future endeavors. I'm sure on Tuesday he would get picked up by somebody else and he would be their backup, whatever. So I have to make that decision. Am I comfortable with him being someone else's backup? Do I think he can win me football games? Do I think he can make a difference in helping me win football games? I don't know. I don't think so. So if I don't think he's going to make a difference in helping me win football games, then what do I have him out there for? Well, he might be a veteran and he has a better position than what the rookies are in. But, I saw him in Philadelphia. Wasn't that great. I saw him a little bit in training camp. It was whatever. And then he got a bad wheel. That's where we're at. I mean, hell, think about what Joe Flacco's place and how bizarre this is. We spent more time talking about Kenny Pickett and the rookies than we have Joe. And Joe's starting the season. 40 years old. And guys like Jeff Phelps, it's amazing how much trust you and I may have in the veterans being with the veterans. Because like Jeff seemed to be pretty fit to be tied over this yesterday. There's Jeff Phelps, one half of Basket and Phelps on Joe Flacco starting the season.
Under the current situation, it would seem that starting Joe in week 1 is the right move. To me, overall, it's a colossal failure. You brought in 4 quarterbacks. The one who starts is the 40-year-old. One of the 2 rookies didn't look good enough to beat him out. The guy who might have has a pulled hamstring. You're starting a 40-year-old guy, not long-term. To me, it just screams you're going to be drafting a quarterback next year.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't call it a colossal failure, but everything else, yeah, 100%. 100%. You can't put either one of those rookies out there. As much as the internet wants to disagree with that, can't put Kenny out there. I don't know if Kenny's healthy enough to go out there. And Joe's going to go out there. And did it sneak up on Jeff that we're drafting a quarterback next year? That's the only thing I would ask. I'm not trying to be mean. Because you and I have been, every single day, we've marked the calendar, and I said, as of 6/16 on July 12th, the Browns are taking a quarterback next year. As of 6/16 on July 24th, the Browns are taking a quarterback next year. Okay, well, as of 6/16 on August 19th, the Browns are still taking a quarterback next year.
What I continue to wonder is if that in and itself, along with them bringing 4 quarterbacks this year to this weird competition for 2 different positions, whether that automatically dooms Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel.
Probably. I mean, I think part of the argument is for either Shedeur or Dillon is who's going to be the backup next year. Because if you take a guy number 2 overall, is he starting for you week 1? I don't know who the general manager is. I don't know who the head coach is. Like, there's still so many unknowns.
Could be very different going into next year.
But I'm comfortable with Joe. I don't believe it's a waste of time. I believe he's right for the veterans. He is a veteran, obviously. I'm comfortable with him. I think the veterans are, and we'll see how long it goes. I don't know how long he's going to be the starter for the football team, but I think they're trying to make the attempt to start off on the right foot, and I think it makes a lot of common sense. And I think you're with me on that. But I got my own problems I got to figure out here. I got 4 quarterbacks here, including Joe. You said, is Joe going to be the quarterback in week 2? Hopefully he would be the quarterback in week 2, performance-wise. Obviously, I can't foresee any injury. God forbid something like that would happen. I want to ask you, though, Joe's the starter. How long's the leash? Now, I don't know who's backing him up yet. We don't know officially who's going to be his number 2. But how long's the leash?
I imagine if the Browns were 0-3, right? That would be...
Man, that early.
Yeah, that would be the talk.
That early?
Yeah, because if you're 0-3, you're not making... The playoff stuff it's going to be pretty damn negative in that locker room. If they're 0-3, guys are going to start thinking about, man, what is this season all about?
Mm-hmm.
You got all these veterans. It's very rare for a team that is forecasted to be this bad to have this many good veterans. So you wonder about that.
God, 0-3 seems to be very soon.
And the thing is,
if it's three
Browns,
games, then I forget what I said about maybe stashing away Kenny Pickett on IR. Then I think it's got to be Kenny Pickett.
Right. I think
I don't
that
know
would
if you
happen.
could just throw Shador or Dylan Gabriel out there like that.
Because the other thing is, how are those guys getting better? This is the other part of this process. Those guys are not really going to have the chance now that it's Joe's team and Joe's the starting quarterback. You'll have the preseason game this week, and that's just about it. Everything is going to be about getting the Browns ready with Joe Flacco as the quarterback, not about determining who's the backup or any of that stuff. I mean, they'll still be going through evaluations. The other interesting thing is the Browns, you realize they have not been 0-2 since the 0-16 year. They had a tie the following year, but they have not been 0-2. So think about the bad teams the Browns have had. They have not been 0-2. They've always given the fans some reason for optimism in one of those early games.
I think I'm willing to go as far as if things are starting out really bad, I think when you come back from the London game, I think that maybe there's some changes that are made. Now, that first game back would be against the Steelers, but you guys know what I say. They're all NFL football teams. They're all tough. So I don't know if that's – I don't think that makes a difference to me.
Yeah, do we even know if the Steelers are going to be that good?